Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into, well, a really critical topic: safeguarding your digital secrets. Especially now, with these evolving threats, we're going to unpack a specific solution to Linea's Quantumlock. Quite cutting-edge stuff.
It really is. Timely, too.
And just so you know where we're coming from, our source material is Delinia's own documentation on Quantumlock. It lays out the purpose, the mechanics, the use cases. Pretty detailed.
Quite comprehensive.
So the big question for you listening in is this: how can you protect your most sensitive data, especially against threats that honestly don't even fully exist yet, but they're definitely looming, like quantum computing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe billion-dollar, given the stakes.
Before we jump into Quantumlock itself, let's really get a handle on this quantum threat. It feels like more than just buzz now.
Oh, absolutely. It's edging closer to mainstream reality, as the source puts it.
And the idea that it could compromise all traditional encryption, that's pretty unsettling for most people, myself included. Can you maybe break down how, what makes a quantum computer so different that it could actually crack the encryption we use every single day?
Yeah, it's a fundamental difference. Think about your standard computer, even a supercomputer.
Yeah.
It tries solutions one by one. Very fast, yes, but sequentially, like trying keys on a massive, massive keychain.
Okay.
For today's encryption, say RSA or ECC, that keychain is astronomically huge. It would take current computers billions of years.
Right, impractical.
Exactly. But quantum computers, they don't play by the same rules. They use quantum phenomena, superposition, entanglement to explore all the possible keys, essentially,
Simultaneously, wow.
So a problem that takes billions of years suddenly becomes solvable in potentially minutes or hours. It's not just faster brute force. It's a whole different approach that just shatters the assumptions underlying a lot of current cryptography.
Okay, that paints a much clearer and, frankly, scarier picture. So that brings us right back to Quantumlock. This is Delinia's answer to that specific threat.
Precisely. It's designed, as they say, to turn your high-priority credentials into fortresses even quantum wizards can't crack.
Yeah.
It's about tackling today's threats and getting ready for that quantum future.
Future-proofing, basically.
That's the core idea, ensuring critical data stays locked down, no matter how technology evolves.
So what makes it quantum safe? What's under the hood that gives it this future-proof quality against these kinds of attacks?
Well, it's a layered approach. The main thing is it adds an extra layer of security using asymmetric encryption.
Okay, public key, private key stuff.
Exactly. Public key encrypts, private key decrypts. But here's the really clever bit, the part that involves the human element. The private key needed to decrypt the secret isn't just stored somewhere. It's derived from a human-generated password. Your password.
Okay. So even if someone gets into the main system, the SQL server.
Right. Even if they breach the server itself, they still can't read the secrets protected by Quantumlock unless they also know that specific separate password you created.
That adds a significant hurdle.
A very significant one. And then, to make it truly quantum safe, it gives you the option to protect that private key using specific quantum safe algorithms, like Crystal's Kyber 1024. This is a big deal because NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology,
Gold standard, people.
Yep, they've recommended algorithms like Kyber precisely because they're believed to withstand attacks from future quantum computers. So you're layering protection upon protection.
That makes sense. It's the algorithm choice that gives it the quantum safe label specifically for the key protection.
Correct.
And you mentioned it's an independent security layer. It operates separately from regular permissions, even from the main secret server login. What does that independence mean in practice for a user, or maybe for an admin managing it?
It means that knowing the secret server password isn't enough. Having admin rights on the server isn't enough. You absolutely need that separate Quantumlock password to decrypt. Think of it like a vault inside a vault.
Okay.
The outer vault is secret server, with its own access controls. But the Quantumlock secrets are in an inner safe, requiring a completely different key, your password.
Does that create any issues, maybe, with audit trails, if it's so separate?
That's a good question. The system does audit access attempts to Quantumlock secrets. It logs who tried and when. But critically, it never logs or stores the Quantumlock password itself. So you maintain the audit trail of who is accessing what, but the unlocking mechanism, that human password, remains completely offline and private. It balances security and accountability.
Got it. Okay, that clarifies the independence aspect. So we understand the how. Let's shift to the when and where. Practically speaking, where should listeners be thinking about deploying Quantumlock?
Right. Strategy. It's definitely not for everything. It's ideal for what the documentation calls static, highly sensitive data. Stuff that doesn't change often, but needs the absolute highest level of protection now and in the future.
Static being the key word there.
Very key. Because enabling Quantumlock comes with a trade-off. It disables features like remote password-changing RPC and heartbeat checks for those specific secrets.
Ah, okay. So you wouldn't use it on an account where the password needs to be rotated automatically every 30 days, for example.
Exactly. You lose that automation capability for the Quantumlock protected secret. It's a conscious decision. Maximum security in exchange for less frequent manual management. Think crown jewels, not everyday items.
Crown jewels. I like that analogy. So what qualifies as a crown jewel in this context? Give us some concrete examples.
Sure, we're talking top-tier credentials. Things like your global administrator passwords, the keys to the kingdom, root account credentials.
Okay, the big ones.
Definitely. Also, highly sensitive personal data like bank account details, PINs, social security numbers, stuff that absolutely cannot leak and rarely changes.
Makes sense.
Then you've got things like cloud global admin passwords, critical local admin accounts on essential servers, maybe high-sensitivity customer data that needs long-term archival protection. Oh, and static API keys or encryption keys, keys that, if compromised, could undermine entire systems, and securing multi-cloud tenant admins, that overarching control plane.
That's a pretty clear list of high-impact, low-change assets.
Precisely. And you can see why industries like finance, healthcare, government would be particularly interested. They have huge compliance needs and deal with data that has to stay secure for decades, potentially.
And you mentioned an administrative point earlier about managing users.
Yes, really important.
Yeah.
Admins need to set up Quantumlock user groups carefully. Don't assign just one person to manage a set of Quantumlock secrets. You need multiple assigned users. Why? Because if that one person forgets their Quantumlock password or, leaves the company and their account is deleted.
The data could be lost forever.
Potentially, yes. It's that secure. So you need redundancy in who can access it. Just like with a physical safe deposit box, sometimes requiring 2 keys. It's a human safeguard.
That's a critical operational detail. Okay, so we've covered the threat, the mechanics, the use cases. Let's quickly recap the core strengths. If you had to boil Quantumlock down to its key features, what are they?
I'd say 3 main things stand out. First, the asymmetric encryption using that human-generated password is the private key. That's unique.
Right.
Second, the option to use those quantum-safe algorithms, like Crystal's Kyber 10024 recommended by NIST for genuine future-proofing.
Okay.
And third, that independent security layer. It operates completely separately from standard permissions, providing really robust isolation.
Excellent summary. Human-generated key, quantum-safe algorithms, independent layer. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Delinia's Quantumlock. Understanding these kinds of advanced security measures, it feels less like an IT niche now and more like something we all need to be aware of, considering how much relies on digital security.
Absolutely.
We really hope this discussion has given you, our listeners, some food for thought about this evolving landscape and how solutions are trying to keep pace, even looking ahead to threats like quantum computing.
And maybe something to ponder as we finish up. As technology just keeps accelerating, how do we strike that balance? The balance between striving for ultimate future-proof security, like we've discussed, and the practical needs for accessibility for automation.
Yeah.
Especially with data that needs to be safe for maybe 50 years or more. What happens when future-proofing stops being a buzzword and becomes, well, an absolute baseline requirement? What new challenges does that bring?